In early 1994, a tailings dam collapsed in Virginia in the Free State, flooding the suburb of 𝗬𝗏𝗡 and killing 17 people.
Lessons should have been learned after that tragedy, but as is so often the case, history was bound to repeat itself. Last Sunday, 28 years after the 𝗬𝗏𝗡 tragedy, a tailings dam ruptured in another Free State town. Claire has this report.
A 100 kilometers south of Bloemfontein in the Free State lies the sleepy mining town of Jagersfontein. It's just before 6 o'clock on Sunday, the 11th of September 2022, and the residents of Jagersfontein have no idea what's about to befall them. Moments later, the dam used to store water and waste from the mine here, known as the tailings dam, was about to change their lives.
Ndicinga uba yimvula ndayithathile engqondweni ndavele ndalala futhi.
Ndiyayiva le nto kutu. Hayi ndivula ifestire ikhethene asingumoya asiyimvula.
At 6, the tailings dam burst, sending a deadly mudslide directly towards the community here, located just a few meters away. Terrified onlookers captured the devastation. Once a thriving diamond mining town in the late 1800s, Jagersfontein had seen better days by the time the De Beers mine shut down in 1973. But in 2010, a sense of optimism swept through the area when a mining company, Jagersfontein Developments, rolled into town, reprocessing the old mine dumps known as tailings from the original excavation, leaving the ever-expanding mine tailings dam ominously looming over the town.
No man, ndithi ngoku mandivuke ndiye phandle. Sendiwuva ndibona ke ne idam kuba ligqabhukile.
𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗆 was one of the first people to witness the collapse of the dam.
Kwamnyama, kwalithwili, kwayisound. Uliza njengokubona ulwandle nxa lisiza kuwe ke ngoku. Now I suppose ndiyeke yonke into apha endlini ndiphumela phandle. Nxa sendibaleka ndiphinde ndikhwaze ke yababambelana bam. Hey, hurry running.
300 meters away, his neighbor 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗶𝘆 was still trying to get his wife and son to safety.
Umfazi ulele nomntana ekusele ekuseni ngo6. Ngathi hey mama vuka. Ithi umama iphuma ngegate, ithi unyana athi we6 years. Ithi athi uyophuma lamanzi bedami abesebemangaka egate. Yaba ndimthatha njalo kusuka egate ndamtsibisa idrati apha.
1.5 million cubic liters of mine waste in the form of sand, mud and water was hurtling through the community.
It's probably the size of a small hill cascading down on the community in a very watery form. So it's a huge amount of material.
Geotechnical engineer Dr. 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘆 has studied the disaster.
It's got a high 𝗬𝗏𝗃 content, which is just a type of clay. So it's not toxic per se, but it's just very mobile and it can be very destructive.
Lando ibethe nje kubekani. Then nxa ibetha like njengomile so ivelithi nje ngiyasuka pha nawo se into enzekile ngezi zinto zethu. So we lost everything.
Just a few kilometers away, farmer Albertus van Staden received a desperate plea for help.
My buurman het so net na 7 'n boodskap vir my gestuur en gesê die myn se damwal het gebreek en ons moet kom help. Ek het maar die bure toe gebel wat verder afstroom af is en vir hulle gesê hulle moet so lank hulle diere uit die pad uitkry en hulle pompe uittrek en die goed wat uit die pad uit kan kry. Maar ons was bietjie te laat gewees, dit het te vinnig gebeur. En toe het die slyk wat hier afgekom het bo die skape gegaan. Ons kon nie almal gered het nie. Ag, dit was nie net diere nie, dit was mense ook. Ons het 2 mense gekry wat met hierdie modders meer gesleep is, net hier aan die kant hier in die veld gekry.
I got the message probably around about just after 8. We just know there was a tailings dam that collapsed And from that, you know the devastation can be very dramatic.
As the news of the disaster filtered across the country, Director of Independent Mine Monitoring Company TSF Risk Solutions, 𝗀𝗬𝗽𝗏𝗧, assembled a team to assist in the rescue efforts and damage assessment. The devastation was overwhelming.
I was quite taken aback. What was something for me was, you know, standing on a foundation of a house that was completely swept away. That was quite eye-opening to me. We did a reconnaissance of the area. There were still reports of a missing lady.
That woman was one of several people missing that morning.
Umakhelwane beme phakathi kwendlu nebhedikami nomkhukhu wakhe. Yaba ndishiye kunjalo ndizova ukuthi uthathwe ngamazi. Nangoku basafumana nesidumbu sakhe.
Buti, what happened to ineighbor yakho?
Monday yabe kungwana ukuvakala ukuba omnye umuntu wase bathi ntoni forensic ufanelazile uconfirmile ukuba elaxhego alisekho.
It was in the southeastern corner, well, actually in the middle, in the southern part where there was a collapse, and it was not a break.
Jagersfontein Development's legal compliance officer, Marius de Villiers, says he's still baffled by the collapse.
It seems as if there was a sagging of the wall on one side. And that's where I want to say, you know, that I won't be able to determine why that occurred.
There's probably two levels of what went wrong. There's what went wrong physically on the morning, and there's what went wrong before that. So tailings dams they're inanimate. They don't make decisions to fail. So people take decisions within a knowledge base to prevent failure.
By 12 p.m. that Sunday, the extent of the damage was clear. The mudslide had left the town reeling with no power or water. Over 250 people were displaced, houses had been swept away, and roads flooded. One person was confirmed dead, whilst 3 more were unaccounted for.
Sunday morning, communities started to calling us in distress, so we immediately dispatched our teams from all over.
Later that morning, Gift of the Givers coordinator 𝗀𝗁cie𝗿𝗆𝗆 started to receive desperate calls.
Nobody had drinking water since Sunday. Nobody could enter and nobody could get out until most of the sludge were cleared. So when we arrived with the water, people started to drink immediately. The main need is personal hygiene items. It's of course food, it's mattresses, it's your blankets. Electricity is off in all of these areas, so people are making fires to prepare their food.
In the aftermath of this deadly disaster, the community is left to pick up the pieces. Hundreds have been affected and homes have been obliterated. What stings is the thought that this catastrophe could have been avoided.
Reports would come out that 2 years prior, the Free State provincial government ordered the company to cease operations for exceeding their authorized storage limit, and that the Department of Water and Sanitation issued a warning to stabilize the walls of the dam.
It is something that is foremost in our minds, is to prevent this type of failure. If we look back at a lot of failures, we often see that it's not a poor understanding of the science behind the problem, but just a failure to implement or make good decisions.
Aba bantu oko sibakhalimela ngale dam kuba this thing eniyenzayo ayikho safe. Lento sithetha kuba abantu be mines, the manager of the mines, aba manager la mine, and I think it's in 4 to 5 years.
De Villiers claims that the community has never raised concerns about the stability of the dam with Jagersfontein Developments.
It's never been raised.
The concerns around the dam has never been raised?
Not as far as I'm concerned that was raised to me personally.
Some people have lost everything, including family members. What would you say to them?
I understand, and I understand their position. But I think if we look at what the mine and what Jagersfontein and developments and, for instance, the trust, which is a trust belonging is for the benefit of the community has done over the last 10, 12 years, I think that's unfounded.
He says that the reports that the dam was too full and overflowed, leading to erosion and collapse of the wall, are incorrect.
This stage, when the break occurred, I think the freeboard was in the region of about 5 meters, so well within.
A freeboard is the vertical distance from the surface of the water to the top of the dam wall and should always be monitored closely. So it was the structural integrity of the dam that was compromised if you're saying that the freeboard was 5 meters.
I'm not going to speculate on that.
Jagersfontein Developments has allocated 20 million rand towards the relief effort, and de Villiers promises that there will be a thorough investigation. Do you take responsibility for what has happened here in Jagersfontein?
Well, we as a company, you know, responsibility is, I mean, if we are the owners, we are responsible. Mm-hmm. But obviously it will depend what the position is with what happened. And
what does that
that's
mean?
what we're trying to establish.
Aerial footage shows that the grey sludge has washed many kilometers downstream from the dam, causing environmental damage that is yet to be counted.
Daar is omtrent 1000 hektaar wat nou onder hierdie sluik is. En verder stroom af is daar nou 'n klomp boere. Hier's 'n besproeiingsboer wat glad nie meer kan besproei. Daai sluik het nou totaal en al vernietig. Stroom af tot binne in die Kalkfonteindam.
Could this have been prevented?
I haven't got an answer for you on that. I've got to qualify it.
People say if you have to qualify, then the answer is yes.
The answer is, I don't know.
For now, all that the residents of Jagersfontein can do is to pick up the pieces of their lives and salvage what they can.